again. Today we're going to visit my friend Sasha at MountainPass Performance. Now, if you don't know this, MountainPass Performance is a company that does specialized EV tuning and upgrades for electric vehicles. They're a brand new company. They started last year. And Sasha invited me out because he just took delivery of his Model 3 a few weeks ago, and he said, I want you to come out and see what I've been working on. So yeah, we're going to go over there and take a look. The other thing too is that Sasha has another project he's been working on. He converted a Lotus Evora to electric using a Tesla powertrain and some Chevy Volt batteries. So I'm really looking forward to seeing the finished product. So let's go over and see what he's been working on. So why don't you give us a little tour here of your shop and what you're working on. Of course, you just got your Model 3 a little while ago. I remember watching the video. You took delivery of the car and you went straight to the dyno.
Yep, we went straight to the dyno like maybe an hour and a half after.
All right, so what kind of figures are you getting on the dyno on this thing?
335, wheel horsepower, 80% state of charge.
So Tesla's sandbagging the numbers, you think?
For sure. Now the thing you need to remember with these, this is a single speed, you make 335 horsepower at one specific engine speed. But above 120 kilometers an hour, 140 kilometers an hour, the power is more like 250.
Okay.
So they're publishing a number that probably represents an average more reasonable.
Very cool.
Yeah, I would say that's
crazy.
Yeah.
Don't panic. I love it. And you've upgraded the suspension parts on this.
Yeah. So I've got a jack. I can pop some
wheels
off.
Yeah, definitely. See what you've done to this thing.
For sure.
Any other mods to the car?
Yeah. So if you kind of peek in here, maybe on this side, you can see this Motec controller. So I don't know if you can see that.
Yeah, the little box there. So you're tying into. Now they're not using are they using CAN bus on this car or not?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there's Ethernet for diagnostics.
But there's no ODB port, right?
Right.
So you have to tie in some other way.
Right. So that thing's doing some data logging for us, and it helped us get the suspension dialed in with shock pots.
Yeah.
And now what we're doing is we're just finding ways to disable stability control and traction control, and we're working on a module right now that will.
Did you see the video of Tesla testing the performance Model 3?
Must have been rear-wheel drive only when they were doing that.
Well, I don't know, but they were.
There's no way to smoke. There's no way to smoke the rear tires like that if it was an all-wheel drive.
No. That car's gonna be mental, though. I think.
I really hope that they give you the option to put it in rear-wheel drive and take the traction control off.
Well, who knows with Tesla, right?
But, so far we haven't done anything like that, but that would be pretty neat.
So what else have you done to this thing? Anything?
Yeah, so we've done a brake kit, which unfortunately doesn't fit with our 18s. So I'm going to grab those rotors and show you guys that. But basically what it is it's the factory rotor on these cars is smaller in the front than the back. The front rotor is tiny, and it's a big heavy car with a good bit of power. So it just needs more thermal mass. So we did a kit that spaces the factory caliper out an inch and fits a 365 millimeter rotor.
Now are those kits available now for purchase or?
Yep, we've got the rotors are done and our brackets are literally shipping to me now. So they're getting them on Monday.
Okay, so have you taken this to the track yet?
Yeah, we did.
All right, so look, you got to tell us what's the deal with this thing on the track, because look, I've seen lots of reports. I've read online. Model S is not a track car. It tends to overheat with the battery. What's been your experience on the Model 3? Powertrain
wise, it's really consistent. It doesn't have the same type of inverter that the Model S has. The inverter is the first thing to overheat on the Model S. It has, I would suspect, much better battery cooling. It has obviously less power. It has a permanent magnet motor instead of an induction motor. So almost everything makes it significantly better. The rest of the car, however, is not up to snuff with the drivetrain. So where the Model S, the brakes weren't an issue, but the power was an issue, this is reversed.
So that's a stock camber arm from the rear of the car. It's like all steel, welded, whatever. And this is your upgraded piece here. Billet aluminum?
Yep, billet aluminum. And that is blue, and then this is not a bushing, this is a solid ball joint.
Oh, nice.
So rather than having all the compliance in these links.
Okay. Is this for adjustment, like lengthwise?
Yeah, exactly.
Is that the idea? Can you get some kind of lock nut you can put on there, I guess?
Yeah, the clamps. So you get the really precise adjustment. When you have
And how many linkages are in the car? Like on the
rear is 5 link.
There's so it's, but are they all identical? Or?
No, they're all
different. Okay, so this is just a sample part then.
Yeah, this is a replacement camber arm. We have a replacement tow arm as well, and those are the main ones you want to be able to adjust the alignment of the car. Then there are obviously other arms that would be nice to change to these type of solid bushings, but that's something kind of down the road for heavy enthusiasts.
So show me about these brakes here that you've been...
Yeah, so these are at 365 millimeter discs.
I mean, there's a banana for... We don't have a banana, but I use my hand. Look at the size of that thing.
Yeah, they're massive. So they're 1 millimeter thicker. They have curved veins. I don't know if you can see that.
Yeah, I can see
they work as an air pump.
Yeah, as an air pump, yeah.
Whereas the factory ones are just straight veins.
Right.
And so these are 45 millimeters bigger, so almost 2 inches bigger in diameter than the factory disc. So like huge.
Steel or ceramic or anything?
No,
there's some billet aluminum in here.
Still an iron disc. They have the same weight as a factory rotor,
despite
the disc being so much bigger. So this is my favorite upgrade that we've done so far. And you can see these things have been thrashed on the track. Like you can see how well the slots work. They clean all the pad material off.
But you're using the stock caliper on this.
Stock caliper.
Stock calipers on the front. Different pads, I'm going to assume?
Different pads.
Different pads.
Yeah. The nice thing about this brake upgrade is it uses the factory caliper, which, Tesla puts a lot of work into having low rolling resistance and low drag. So you get to keep all of those kind of features of the factory caliper.
Right.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
This is a done up 350Z that he's got. He's been working on. It's all gutted, but it's a track car, right? So says he's pushed the motor back 4 inches and dropped it 1 inch to drive some. All right, for those of you who don't know, these aero wheels come off. If you don't like them, look, you got nice stock alloy rims underneath, so stop panicking. Anything special about lifting a car with a jack like that, Sasha? Do you need a special pad or something?
I mean, it would be nice to have a special pad. I know that someone makes one because it's a black steel base.
Yeah.
So it'll scratch it.
Yeah.
But otherwise, no. The car's rear heavy, so you can jack it from the back and you'll get both. You can see that.
Sasha's brakes compared to the stock ones. Look how much bigger they are. Look at that. But yet you still use the same caliper, right? So
exactly. Yeah, these things bolt on in like 45 minutes. It's just 4 bolts.
That's nice.
So you don't have to re-bleed the brakes, take it all apart. You don't need to do any of that.
Oh, that's nice. Drop in affair. Cool.
So we've already got 5,000 kilometers on these parts. I'm just kidding.
So this is the one you were showing me before.
That's right.
The adjustable.
Yep. So that's the camber arm.
Yeah.
So that link is now solid.
Okay.
Which used to be a bushing. This one's always been solid. And then on our tow arm, this is the one that adjusts the tow.
Okay.
That's now solid. It used to be a bushing.
And you've got a different spring in there, of course.
Yeah, so that's a coilover with a ride height adjustment. And this is a prototype rear spring. Our production one will be like a stock diameter.
Right.
That'll taper down up to the adjuster.
It's a little different, right, on the Model 3 because most have like coilovers.
Yeah, actually this is the same as the 350Z. If you look at the rear suspension of that car, it's exactly the same.
Because most people have like the shock tower, of course, and the coilover, but they've separated it.
Yeah, BMW does that as well. I think the main reason is that there's a lot more chassis rigidity down low.
Okay.
If you put the spring, you're putting all the load up here at the rear parcel shelf.
I see.
And it transmits a lot more noise.
I know nothing about this stuff. You're the expert, not me.
Well, that's why you want to keep the spring down there. I mean, you'll probably see some coilovers surely come out that'll have the spring there because it's easier.
Yeah.
But it's going to be a lot louder in the car. So kind of get some appreciation working on this car of just how much detail Tesla's gone into. The flat floor here it's really wide. It goes right out to the tire almost. Yeah. And even wraps around the
shield,
suspension arm. Yeah. And then there's an aero shield on this rear spring arm that at ride height is flush with the floor and the diffuser.
Yeah.
So the flat floor pretty much covers under the entire suspension. And you've got almost only a very small space that's open between the tire and the flat floor.
Yeah, because one of the most common questions, of course, that I've been getting is that should I do any kind of rust proofing on this car? And my opinion's kind of been like, well, I'm not 100% sure because I haven't seen all the stuff in here. But I know from the underside of the car, you really don't need to do anything because they've literally covered all the exposed areas with aero shields. Of course, except for this area here, which is still a little bit open. So, and the body shop that I spoke to said, well, as long you can do rust proofing if you want, as long as you don't do the perforation method. Like, don't let a company drill into anything because you know the aluminum and the steel in the car and stuff, because you don't want to introduce any kind of corrosion. So.
Yeah, I don't know. Like with electric cars, I'm interested to see how rust develops. This is just speculation. Like, I'm not an expert on that, but I would imagine that with any high voltage pack, you're gonna have some voltage going through the body. Right. And since it's always charging, there's so often that it's got some current running through it. I wonder if that's going to prevent rust from spreading. So all these suspension arms were designed by us here in-house, and they're machined in Quebec. So they're Canadian made, and then the suspension's made by KW, so it's a German company, and they've been racing in Nürburgring. They've been racing forever. We went after KW for a reason. They've got the best kind of compromise road suspension with track capabilities. So normally the rebound adjuster would be up in the cabin, which would mean every time you wanted to adjust the stiffness of the damper, you'd have to remove these bolts and drop the shock. So we've got KW to build us this adjuster, which is right here.
It's a rotary one, like a motorcycle.
So and the shock still connects further up, but this is connected to the tube inside to adjust the...
And you got a dust cover on that or something? I can't see because it's so...
Right now there's no dust cover on the prototype damper, but the production will have a dust cover that goes over the shaft, but this will still be exposed.
Is that something you can reach in with the tire on, or you'd have to take the wheel off, you think?
I can reach in and do it. You just have to lay on the ground and put your arm up there.
I see.
And if the car's not crazy low, you can stick your hand
through. Well, the point is, if you're doing this for the track, you're going to have some kind of lift or a jack or something. You're just not going to reach
you can even just lay under there. It's not hard. The same thing with the compression adjusters at the bottom. Cool. So yeah, very, very easy to do. I can always do it laying down, just sticking my arm up there. These things don't get hot, right? There's no heat.
Oh yeah, you drill the small hole here.
Yeah, so optionally, you don't have to, but you can drill a small hole so that you can get in here with an Allen key and adjust the forces of the damper. Yeah. So we're probably gonna develop a little part that's
like a little grommet or something.
A little stub that guides the Allen key, because it takes a little bit of hunting.
Yeah. And that's just for adjusting the rebound on the shock tower that he's got in there.
Yeah, and then the compression adjustments on the bottom.
And the compression adjustmts on the...
So when you go from full soft to full stiff, it's like the equivalent of going from a comfortable road car, sports car, to like mostly a race car. It's a huge range of adjustment with these dampers.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Oh, sweet. Look at this thing. Oh, you got this in a dead room. Oh my God, this is a dead room.
Yep.
No echo, I love it.
That's a dyno cell.
Jesus, look at this thing. All right, so stock Evora converted to electric.
So almost double the horsepower of a stock Evora.
All right, so what is this thing pushing right now?
It's like 480 at the wheels.
Tesla Model S rear drive
85 that's been flashed to a P85. And obviously with Chevy Volt batteries, you
don't
have as much sag, so the power's a lot higher.
All right, show us the batteries in the compartment here, Zeko. Oh yeah, some Chevy Volt batteries. Now, they normally split like that, or did you split them like that to get everything to fit?
Yeah, we split them like those two are like normal, but these ones down here are
also. So it's the whole battery from a Volt? It's two
full volts.
2 full volts. Okay, all right. Yep. So you've got 2 of them laid down there, and then 2 there, and then of course there's the Tesla Powertrain down on the bottom. You had to do some power electronics on your own, or did you use something from Tesla? What'd you end up doing?
It's the factory Tesla motor controller, and then we're controlling all of the we're doing all the vehicle control with the Motec. Okay. So we've done our own CHAdeMO charging through the Motec. All the torque control, traction control, all that stuff is done through the Motec. Pop that open for you.
So it's CHAdeMO?
CHAdeMO.
Oh yeah, look at that. CHAdeMO. Does it do you have level 2 on it at all, or just CHAdeMO? Okay, so you have
it has level 2 as well.
And did your own screen, did you not?
Yes, so it's got a Motec 12-inch display.
Can I sit in it?
Sit in it, yeah. The seat backs in it.
Oh wow, look at this.
So it's got different screens on the right that you can toggle through here. It's got a lap timer, temperatures. Everything's off right now because there's no ECU in it. But it's pretty cool when you're on the racetrack. You see your lap times and.
So you've modified the dash a little bit to accommodate the screen, did you not?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
And then it's all wrapped in Alcantara and the door cards as well.
Yeah, that's nice.
And on the back, there's a battery cover if you look behind you too.
Yeah, I like the Alcantara. Good thing. That's one of the nicest things I like about the Model X. It's got the Alcantara.
Yeah. And then the steering wheel as well.
Oh yeah, look at that. You did all the whole nice. Is this a hardtop or?
It's a coupe.
Oh, it's a coupe. Okay. Oh, nice layout. So did you have to do anything with this? Like, is there custom software that runs on this, or you develop your own, or does it just come like that?
The way the Motec works is it has basically a display design suite.
Oh, okay.
And then Motec actually had their graphic designers
Do something for
do
you.
some of that stuff.
Oh, very cool.
And then we've done all the logic and the layout.
Your shifter here is a 3D printed piece with just some push momentary buttons for reverse drive and neutral. Are you going to finish that with something a little more nicer when you're done, I guess?
Yeah, we haven't decided yet. There's another module that's got a rotary dial that can control the dash as well, so we might use that.
Oh, that's cool. Sick. The only one of its kind.
Yeah, it's
What year is this?
2014.
All right, Sasha, where can people find your website and your products if they want to soup up their model?
Yeah, so if you're interested, it's MountainPassPerformance.com, and we're Mountain Pass Performance on Instagram. We've got updates every day of kind of what we're working on.
So all the products we talked about today, they can get it on there.
Everything's on the site. Exactly.
Awesome.
So, thank you.
Well, thanks for showing me the shop, buddy. I really like it.
Awesome.
And hopefully it's informative to some of our viewers to see exactly what you can do to your standard Model 3 until the performance car comes out. But those brakes are really impressive. Thanks, Sasha.
Thanks for coming in.
Yeah, no problem.